everyone. This is Commissioner Scar. Today is Tuesday, September 26, 2023, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing star 6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing star 6. It is very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. We will begin with our Commissioner roll call. Commissioner Bell.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. And Commissioner Yamamoto.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. We will jump in, as we always do, with Adventist Health Tillamook and Eric Swanson. Good morning, Eric.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner. We have 14 patients in the hospital today. Our ambulance crews did 8 911 transports yesterday, 3 transfers. There's 119 patients boarding in emergency departments across Oregon. That's 4 more than yesterday. Discharge delays, 428. That's 7 less than yesterday. Last time we spoke, I talked about a roofing project here at the hospital, and that is underway. The first part of the project is completed, and so if you're driving through the back parking lot of the hospital in the next week or so, you may see some cones indicating you can't drive where the crane is. So it should only take a couple of weeks to get that section done, and then we won't be doing anything more till next year. So unless you have questions for me, that's all I've got for you today.
Thank you, Eric. Are there any questions for Eric this morning? All right, not hearing any, we will move on to the Coastal Caucus, and I know that I saw Senator Weber with us this morning. Good morning, Senator.
I hope I'm no longer muted.
You are no longer muted. Oh, the game.
Rainy morning in Salem, let me tell you, and that's where I am today. Ledge days don't start until tomorrow officially, but I have several meetings that I have to accomplish today, and so I'm in my office, and it's pretty quiet here, but you know, that's not always bad. I can get a lot done when it's quiet. Yesterday I had a several-hour meeting on early literacy that is especially ramping up in using the science of reading to teach reading, and how that is going to be influencing our education, especially since we're looking at loss of, our kids just didn't bounce back from COVID like everyone thought they would. And so we've got to do something to help our students in our state to be able to be on the cutting edge of education once again, and to exceed what our national average should be. Today, as soon as I leave here, then I'm going to also, I've been appointed to the Hunger Task Force, Oregon Hunger Task Force, and we have a meeting very shortly that will go for quite a while also. And then this afternoon I get to do something fun. I'm going to go to the Seed Orchard Nursery in Turner and look at where our baby trees come from. The ones that we plant on the coast especially, to replace what we have logged. And I'm really excited to be able to see that. Tomorrow is a really action-packed day for me, because it is the day that I have set aside to meet with constituents and lobbyists and look at further legislation. At this point, we have only 2 bills that can go forward in this short session, and that's not bad. That's not bad, because you know in the long session there were upwards of 3,000 bills that were proposed by 90 people. So, you know, there are a lot of people who want to change a lot of things. We only have 35 days in a short session to be accomplished what needs to be accomplished. And, you know, originally this was begun, the short session that is, to provide tweaks and budget, adaptations and changes that may need to happen. And so we're looking at additional legislation and people are coming forward to be able to tell me what they think. I'm going to be meeting with the Oregon Forest Service, the right to repair, health care, education, and that's only 4 of about 10 that I have to meet with tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, we have the pleasure of having our PUDs in Tillamook, and so I'll be coming back to Tillamook for their evening event. I believe that Representative Javity is one of the keynote speakers for that group, which I think is good. And then Thursday, all of my committees are meeting one day, 8:30 in the morning till 6:30 at night. And so that also will be an action-packed day where we will find out what has happened, especially into the legislation that was passed in the long session, and how things are going forward. And then on Friday, we will have our only floor session. And you know, since the Capitol is under construction, the area that we usually meet is closed and draped in plastic, and so we won't be using that. We'll be using one of the hearing rooms, and that session is especially to approve the governor's appointees. Since the governor has come into office, she has appointed several people to committees and to positions and to agency heads, and all of those will be approved, hopefully, by the Senate on Friday morning. I have no idea how long that session is going to take, but it should be very interesting. We'll be in hearing room A, and so we'll all be smushed into one little area, but it will happen, and it will all work out, I know. I was so pleased to be able to park in the parking garage this morning. I was only the second car in, and so I had an easy time parking. As some of you know, the parking garage has been a challenge for me, so nobody had to climb out the window to get out of my car this morning. So with that, wish me luck. Enjoy the rain. Know that it's cleaning the air and keeping the smoke down, and it's making the grass grow again. And thank you all for the opportunity and the privilege to be able to serve you.
Thank you, Senator. Does anyone have a question for the Senator before we continue on? Okay, hearing none. Thank you so much, and I do not believe I saw Representative Javity, but I'm always going to give him a shout out because sometimes I get tricked with phone numbers. And I missed him once, and so there's always that part of him that says I can't pull that one again. All right, not hearing from him. We will move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Ed Colson. Good morning, Ed.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Tillamook County. Well, COVID-19 is still present in our community, state, and elsewhere. We are seeing an increase in COVID cases and requests for COVID-related vaccines and services. So we are providing an update on the current guidelines and the availability of vaccine and test kits. If someone in the general public tests positive for COVID, regardless of vaccination status or prior infection with COVID-19, they're recommended to stay home until 24 hours after the fever is gone without use of fever-reducing medications and other COVID-19 symptoms are improving. They also should avoid contact with high-risk individuals, which may be residents of congregate care facilities, persons with immunocompromising conditions, etc., for 10 days. And then mask when they are around other people in the 10 days after they become sick or test positive. Now, we still do have free COVID-19 test kits, and they continue to be available for free at all county libraries and at Tillamook County Community Health Center's front desk. COVID testing is also available by appointment with our primary care providers. However, there is a cost associated with seeing a provider for testing. The new monovalent vaccine is designed to protect people against the most prevalent variant of COVID, not the 2 or bivalent or more variants, has been approved. So we have pre-ordered the vaccine, but we do not currently have it in stock. At this time, we are not scheduling appointments for flu or COVID vaccine in our clinic. However, we will be hosting quite a few walk-in vaccine clinics mid-October throughout the county. So here are the first week of dates, times, and locations as follows. We will continue to mention this throughout our reports as well as on our website. Monday the 16th, October 16th at the Tillamook County Fairgrounds, 9 a.m. to 4. Tuesday, also at the Fairgrounds, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday the 18th at Rockaway Beach Meal Site, which is at St. Mary's by the Sea Church, from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And then Thursday, October 19th, Nestucca K-8 School, 3:30 to 6:30. So once again, our walk-in vaccine clinics are going to start mid-October, starting October 16th. Our dates and times will be on our website, and we'll reiterate those on our community reports as well. If you get water from a well, you should inspect your well and test the water every year for nitrates and bacteria. Testing is important because contaminated water or a damaged well can lead to both short and long-term health problems. Tillamook County Community Health Center is offering free nitrate and bacteria testing to well users during the whole month of September. So learn more and sign up at tillamookchc.org/wells. It is the last week for that, so we're going through till Friday for it. Lastly, we have wellness visits reminder. So please schedule a wellness exam now through December 31st of this year for ages 3 and up for an opportunity to receive a gift card in the mail after your visit. Annual wellness exams meet the criteria for sports physicals and have no out-of-pocket costs for the exam and labs that can be done in our clinic. Learn more at tillamookchc.org, or you can call 503-842-3900 to schedule. All of our providers are accepting new patients, and our mobile clinic is providing dental services up in North County. We're stationed in Nehalem every second and fourth Monday of every month at the bottom gravel parking lot at the corner of 101 and 7th Street. Schedule is open, so please call our dental staff at 503-842-2356 for more information or help booking your appointment in North County. And that is our update. We'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Does anybody have questions for Ed? Okay, not hearing any. We will move on. Typically we would hear from Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy, but they are not with us today. So we will jump ahead to Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Frank Hannah Williams. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
You caught me by surprise there. I got myself off mute. This is Frank Hannah Williams. I am the director of the Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. You can reach us for number one, information. Number two, information that related to appointments, and also some specific information that you might want in that has to do with our parenting supports, counseling for mental health or substance use concerns, and also for our QPR series, Question, Persuade, and Refer, which is a evidence-based suicide prevention format. Any of those things, you may reach us at either at 1-800-962-2851 or 503-842-8201. And if I will take any questions that anyone may have today.
Thank you, Frank. Any questions for Frank? All right. I'm not hearing any. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will move on to, you betcha. Thank you. Thank you. We will move on to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Brown.
Good morning. I am here on this wet Tuesday morning, or damp anyways. I'm sure everybody has been able to tell that fall really seems to be here. I know at fire levels they're welcoming this weather. If you're a hunter, you're probably welcoming this weather as well. So with the wet roads, just want to make sure everybody remembers to drive safe. Slow down, give yourself a little bit extra time to get to and from work or wherever it is that you're going. Be aware, obviously, and it's been some time, but be aware that school is back in session and buses will be traveling to and from mornings and afternoons. Kids will be walking, kids will be out and about just generally with school in session. So again, just be careful when you're driving and give yourself some extra time, be patient. Last week, towards the tail end of the week, we had the sheriff's office, or I hosted 3 town halls. Those went really well, generally speaking, and I want to thank everybody that was able to attend. I consider them a success, and they were great conversations with the community. Hopefully that's something I can turn into a regular thing, at least every so often, but just got to make sure that I'm making them happen. So with that, I don't believe I have anything else, and I can take questions if needed.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions for the Sheriff this morning? All right, thank you for being here. Moving on to Emergency Management, Randy Thorpe.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
First thing, the burn ban was lifted. It was repealed this Saturday by the Fire Defense Board. So if you've been seeing smoke from those neighbors' barrels, it's because the ban is off, and so the burning can now commence. The planning for the Great American Shakeout Move-Out Drill that's going to be taking place here in the county on October 19th, of course, at 10:19, is continuing. This is in conjunction with the Great American Shakeout. The next planning meeting for that county-wide exercise will be held this Thursday, 10 o'clock in the Bay City Hall, and that's a group of all our local volunteer groups. They call themselves right now the TC4, but they're looking for a new name. Maybe they'll hold a raffle, or not a raffle, but a little contest to come up with a new name for them. But anyway, worldwide, just looked this up, there's roughly about 48 million people have signed up to participate in the Great Shakeout Earthquake Drill. Here in humble Tillamook County, we've got roughly about 5,000 participants that have signed up here. And you can register at www.shakeout.org. Registering just puts you into the mix and just helps with some statistics on numbers of people in the different areas that are participating in earthquake drills. Looks like the rain will continue through the week. They're looking about maybe another inch today, half inch on Wednesday. I think what I've seen from the rain gauges around the county, looks like storm totals are right around an inch and a half, maybe. Looking at the total for the month of September, we're at about 2.5, so we're way behind, but any moisture has been welcome, so hopefully this will start replenishing those dried up wells that we've had here in the county. So anyway, just be safe out there and take care of each other. And I noticed that the power did come back on in North County. Power went out there. It was a main transmission line that came from up over the mountain with Pacific Power, and I guess around 1 o'clock it got restored. So those good folks in North County now were able to have a hot breakfast. So anyway, that's all I have for today, Commissioner.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was just reflecting, as we did declare emergency drought last week. It has brought on the rain, so much like washing your car will bring on the rain, I think. So next year we're going to declare it just a little earlier if we need to, so we can get the rain to start. All right, moving on to our Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Bell.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I was among the folks who lost power last night, so it was good practice, for the beginning of this season, and it caused me to think, okay, well, am I ready for the power outage season? Do I have enough water? Do I know where my flashlights are? Do I know where my batteries are? Do I know where my propane bottles and my cook stove are, etc.? So this is just a warning to everybody that now that we're in the season of windstorms and power outages, just check and make sure you have all your emergency supplies handy and ready because, here we go. And typically the power outages are quick. I know the power companies work hard to restore power as quickly as possible, but most of us who've lived here for a while have experienced power outages that can potentially last for days. So if it's incumbent upon us to make sure we're ready. So yesterday felt like a little trial run. I was super happy I'd gotten home in time to make dinner. On my way home, I saw how windy it was, and I had one of those premonitions where I thought, oh God, I hope I get home and make dinner before the power goes out. And we were at the table eating dinner when the power went out, so I felt pretty successful about that. I wanted to talk about some of the things we're working on right now. We have just concluded our first round of interviews for folks who applied to be appointed as commissioner. So for anybody who's not aware of this, Commissioner Yamamoto is retiring a year early, a year before his term ends. And so according to the state law, the seated commissioners shall appoint a commissioner to replace him until the next election. So that's what we're in that process right now. It is very gratifying to me. I'm truly grateful that 16 people applied. We had no idea how many people would apply, who would apply, but 16 people applied to be of service to Tillamook County. And so I just want to say how grateful I am to all of those people, and thank you. Thank you for being willing to be of service. It's a courageous move to step forward and say, I will serve my county in this way for a year. And we're very grateful for your willingness and for your time. One of those individuals didn't meet the residency requirement, but the other 15 do. And so where we're at now is we've had the initial round of interviews with people, and then we will choose finalists, and maybe 5 to 7-ish finalists. And we don't know the exact number yet, but it'll be a smaller number than 15. And then those folks will go forward into a couple of more events in October. We'll have a public forum, which I'll just speak to this briefly because I've gotten some questions about it. The public forum, the intention of the public forum is to let the community know who has applied and to learn something about them. Because this isn't an election, people won't be able to vote on the commissioner, but you'll be able to give us your feedback. You'll be able to tell us your impressions, and you may very well be able to submit questions to a moderator to ask the candidates in the forum. So the forum is intended for the community to get to know the finalists. And then thereafter, we'll have an interview, a final interview, and we'll deliberate and we'll choose somebody to be in that position for a year. Our hope is to do all that by around November 1st so that the incoming person can have some overlapping time with Commissioner Yamamoto before he retires. So that's a big deal. No one remembers when this has ever happened in Tillamook County before. It has happened in other Oregon counties, and so we've been able to look to them to see their processes and ask, well, how did you do this and how did you handle this? So we have some role models for how to move through the process. And again, I just want to say, something I truly love about Tillamook County is people's willingness to step up and be of service. We have more people willing to share their time, resources, and talents in Tillamook County than any place else I've ever lived, and it's really heartening. It's heartening the way people are willing to work to make our county a better place. So thank you all. And another thing another recruitment process I'm involved in is with Northwest Oregon Housing Authority. They serve the region of Columbia-Clatsop, Tillamook County in affordable housing efforts, and they do a lot of good, hard, important work. And I'm on that board. I represent Tillamook County on that board, as do a couple of citizen members. And So we are in the process of recruiting for an executive director, and we had last week in Warrenton, we had initial interviews for that position, and interviewed two really very impressive candidates. So I'm encouraged about that. And it's interesting. There are a lot of good people working on that board from the three counties, and also what I was thinking about, something that changed as a result of COVID is that we learned how much we can really get accomplished remotely, because and at the same time we learned how much we could get accomplished remotely, and organizations geared up with tech and equipment in order to meet remotely. But at the same time, we had this precipitous fall in workforce availability. So every organization I know of, from big to small, has had trouble recruiting, hiring, retaining staff in the last couple of years. And there are lots of reasons for that. I don't think anybody understands it 100%, but we understand it's not just one reason, it's many reasons. So one thing I was thinking about with this Northwest Oregon Housing Authority interview session was how many key people in that organization now work remotely. So we have some excellent people working in that organization, an interim manager and the recruiter and the CFO, and all of them are work from a distance. And so it was interesting to go through the process and think, this is what it takes right now, is a willingness to look at changing our systems and being willing to work with people remotely if they're the right people. If you can't find the right people locally, and you can find the right people on the East Coast, that's what it takes to make things work right now. So it's interesting to see that change, and also gratifying to see it happening really successfully. And I think the last thing I want to say is thanks to Senator Weber. I met with Senator Weber last week. We had a great meeting, caught up on a bunch of issues, and talked about things we'd like to work on together. And I'm just really grateful for her leadership in the community and for her partnership. And I'll close there. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Commissioner Yamamoto.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. As Commissioner Bell stated, we've been doing a lot of interviews. Yesterday was probably the busiest day for interviews for all of us. But even last week, both Tuesday and Wednesday, we were interviewing candidates that want to sit in my chair, and I also am so appreciative of all the people that have expressed an interest. It's terrific public service, it really is. But there's so much to do for Tillamook County, for the state of Oregon, both in Salem and at the national level. So I'm hoping that my conversations with the candidates gave them an idea of what this job really is. And that's one of the big issues here. Most people have no idea what commissioners really do. I know some people think this is a part-time job, and you can do it in a couple hours a day. But if you talk to any of us, you're going to find that no, this is more like a 60-hour-a-week job. You're attending meetings evenings and weekends. Matter of fact, on Saturday of this last weekend, I attended the Tillamook County Soil and Water Conservation District annual meeting at the PRI building at the community college. It was great to get together with everyone from Tillamook County Soil and Water Conservation. And I just need to do a shout out to Tillamook County's Soil and Water Conservation District. They are one of the reasons that I can say, when it comes to clean water, habitat restoration, and fish recovery, there is no Oregon county that does this better than Tillamook County. Their cooperation in working with the watershed councils and Tillamook Estuaries partners and our very own Public Works Department, and the number of trees that they plant every year, and the invasive species and weeds that they control all along our riverbanks and all. I mean, it's truly incredible what partnerships we have in Tillamook County in order to make Tillamook County a great place. I know last Tuesday, since I was gone the previous Tuesday to that, I went long and did not talk about everything that I wanted to talk about last Tuesday. So I just want to go over one meeting that I did not have time to talk about. That was on Monday of last week. I am a member of the Oregon BOEM Task Force. BOEM is Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, and they are trying, the federal government is really trying to do a lot with offshore wind. It's a much easier scenario on the East Coast because the seafloor drops away much less rapidly than it does on the West Coast. On the West Coast, we're dealing with some really deep areas, and so even though on the East Coast you can plant the turbines on the seafloor, but off of the Oregon, California, Washington coast, these are floating platforms, much like floating oil rigs, and it is tested technology, but not to a great extent, and not to the numbers and depths and wind and sea and sea issues that we have, especially off the Oregon coast. There are two call areas currently, one off of Curry County and one off of Coos County. And even though I understand the reasons that we need renewable energy, when they're really having issues with major fishing grounds off the southern Oregon coast, the cost of energy, I don't think people realize the cost of wind power, especially these new floating style wind power devices. So this is really something that we have to be careful with. We're starting to get our federal delegation having conversations with BOEM about slowing this process down and alluding to the fact that they really need to listen to the coastal residents that this is going to affect, and the fishing grounds that they're going to be impeding upon. It's not just the fishing fleets out of southern Oregon. Our fishing fleets out of Newport and Astoria and Garibaldi, they go all over. They really do. It depends on where the fish are and what season it is. So there are so many different issues here, and it is my hope that BOEM is going to slow down and really take into account all the testimony that they're getting. But to this date, they have not been really open-minded. They take public testimony. I keep asking questions, and I really don't get a lot of answers to the questions that I ask. Again, so both California and Oregon have renewable energy standards, especially on the call area off of Curry County. There are already plans to do offshore wind off of the Eureka area, Northern California coast. We don't have a lot of transmission lines for that kind of power in Southern Oregon. We've asked BOEM if they would assist Oregon in getting some transmission lines in so we can distribute the power, and BOEM says no, but that's not something that we do. My biggest concern here with offshore wind, especially off of Curry County, is that a California company is going to come in, be successful in the bid, and since they're already working in the Eureka area, they're going to really take up a lot of fishing grounds off the southern Oregon coast and then bypass Oregon completely in our renewable energy standards and just take their transmission lines into the Eureka area where they're already working and they already have decent transmission systems. So again, there are so many issues here that are left unresolved. There's no jobs available. Well, not no jobs, but BOEM determined a couple of years ago that there is no port in the state of Oregon that is capable of handling and manufacturing these huge wind turbine systems on floating platforms. So that means this work is going to go to California or Washington. And again, it's just not something that I am looking forward to. But the renewable energy would be a good thing. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox and turn it back over to Commissioner Scar.
Thank you, Commissioner Yamamoto. Okay, so for myself, looking back at the last week, I had an opportunity to go to the Association of Oregon Counties Board and Legislative Retreat in Southern Oregon at the end of last week. We talk about the Association of Oregon Counties every so often, and I'll do it again because it's an opportunity to let you all know why it's important that we are participating in this organization. So the first day that we met, we were doing the work of the board because this is a member-driven organization. So as members of this organization, it is important that we participate so that our voices are at the table. We spent a long time talking about the dues of the organization, which is one of the ways that it is supported. And it's, again, crucial that we're there at that conversation, really evaluating the effectiveness of the organization for us and the amount that we pay and whether it's something that we want to see changes in, that we want to see improvements in, etc. And I'm pleased to say that at this point, having been involved heavily for the last 2 years, this organization is extremely effective for Tillamook County. One of the two big pieces that they do for us. One of them is education related to the many, many, many bills that show up in any legislative session. As the Senator talked about, there were over 2,000 bills that were introduced in the last session, and the Association of Oregon Counties educated us on as many of those as had any nexus to counties, and ultimately we took a position of either support or oppose on 190 of those bills. So that was not all of them that had effects on counties, because as an organization we have chosen that if all 36 counties cannot come together and have a position together, we let it go and we each advocate for our own needs. But we had 190 where we had agreement that it was either good or bad for counties, and we took a position so that legislators understood how the work they're doing impacts the services that the counties provide to our shared residents, because that's such a key piece, is that the state offers some services, but the majority of what they offer come through the counties. And so it's so important that they have our voice. And that is where Association of Oregon Counties exists, is in that window to make sure that our voice is always in Salem, even when we can't be there ourselves. So it was a really great meeting. We spent the second day legislatively reviewing the areas of importance to us and really starting to set some of our targets going forward as to what types of legislation we want to work to get introduced and what types of legislation we know are likely to come from other sources and what will our position be. So lots of good work done and more good work to be done with the Association of Oregon Counties. But because we do not have our own lobbyist in Tillamook County, and we do not have the bandwidth and capacity to be in Salem all the time tracking everything, this organization is crucial to us. So we'll continue to hear that we are participating and that we are getting value. Looking, let's see, forward, a couple things going forward that I just want to let folks know are happening. I know that there's been some concern around Helping Hands in the community. There's been a lot of publicity on the Portland news stations, etc., about the challenges that they face financially and where the state and other support organizations are in that. So I am meeting today with Mike Davis, who is the current CEO of Helping Hands, to talk about their particular operation here in Tillamook and how we can help support the continued operation of that shelter. It is a wonderful re-entry shelter. It does amazing work. And we really want to make sure that within our network of homeless and houseless services that we are participating with and supporting Helping Hands. So we'll be meeting with Mike today to get them sort of integrated, hopefully better, into our county's funding structure related to that. Couple other things that I've just seen out there that I want to use this opportunity to amplify. One of them is that Tillamook School District 9 needs bus drivers, and they need them very, very significantly. If you're listening and you have children in TSD 9, you probably already know, because you have been getting the notices that buses are running 1 to 1.5 hours late on some days, and that's simply because they don't have enough bus drivers and they are having to do a double run. So one bus driver will go and run a route, and then they will go and run a complete second route. So if you're sitting out there thinking, I would like some kind of part-time work, maybe you have a commercial driver's license, maybe you don't yet, but you're willing to get one, reach out to your school district. TSD9 I know is hiring. I'm going to take a wild guess, although I haven't heard from North and South, that they probably are in similar situations looking for bus drivers. Typically you get to work a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the afternoon. So just a shout out on that one, because it is crucial. If our kids are arriving at school an hour and a half late or having to leave an hour and a half early, they're missing things that we don't want them to miss. So let's get some bus drivers out there. Let's support our school districts. Similarly, we know that the conversation around childcare and the lack of childcare in our community has been going on for quite some time, and we continue to talk about that, but I want to amplify an opportunity. Northwest Regional Childcare Resource and Referral is starting a new provider cohort, and what this means is if you weren't thinking about providing childcare in your home, you're not really sure where to begin, but you think it might be something you would like to do. This is an opportunity to have a 12-month program free to you that helps you set up your childcare business. It helps you understand the components of running this as a business. And then it also helps you with one-on-one coaching for how, what should you be doing in your childcare. So it's a great opportunity if you're one of those people that has a heart for children and you've thought about it, but you weren't sure where to begin. This is the time and place to begin. And you can reach out to the Northwest Regional Childcare Resource and Referral either by phone at 503-338-3371. Or you can do an email at jbello@nwresd.k12.or.us. You can also search online for Northwest Regional Education Services District, their Child Care Resource and Referral Program. And if you didn't catch any of that, call me. I'll get you connected. But we need child care providers in Tillamook County in such a serious and significant way. We have very, very, very few slots for our kiddos. And that means that when they are getting started early in life, when they should be in a safe educational environment to really give them the right start, many of them don't have that opportunity because parents are working and they end up leaving them with a sibling or a friend who is probably giving them great love, but maybe not that educational component that we know is in our certified child care centers. So please, if you thought, well, I can't drive a bus, but maybe you thought I could take care of kiddos, there's an opportunity for you, and I just wanted to amplify those because we talk a lot about childcare and the need for childcare, and the way that we're going to solve that is to come together as a community and participate in these types of businesses. All right, two other things. Just today, I will be spending the late afternoon up in Rockaway Beach with Mayor McNeely. I'm looking forward to just going up into that community and hearing about what plans they have. They've got a lot of great work going on, and I really look forward to getting a little bit more educated on that. So thank you, Mayor McNeely, for the invitation. I look forward to that. And the last thing I'll talk about is the Salmonberry Trail. I think we've talked about it off and on here, but the Salmonberry Trail is an effort that's been ongoing for many years. It is a rail-to-trail project that will use the Port of Tillamook Bay Railway to create a walking, biking, hiking trail. It will ultimately be about an 82-mile trail that will go from the city of Tillamook all the way up to the city of Wheeler, cross over the Coast Range, and drop into Banks. So there's going to be a lot of really great opportunity with that. And the Salmonberry Trail Foundation has been started to do fundraising and engagement, and there will be a reception this Wednesday night at 5 p.m. at the Salmonberry Saloon in Wheeler for people to come and learn a little bit more about what's going on, and to have the opportunity to engage, to sign up to be a part of a volunteer group that might go and clear trail, to become involved maybe as an ambassador to talk to other people about the trail. This is going to be a great opportunity. So I really hope that folks will come out at 5 p.m. at the Salmonberry Saloon and just learn a little bit more about it. If you already know a little bit and you'd rather get involved and listen to our board meeting, which will be for the Salmonberry Trail Intergovernmental Agreement, that will take place from 1 to 4, also at the Salmonberry Saloon there in Wheeler. So we're going to be there for a good part of the day, and there's actually a tour in the morning if you're interested in that as well. So a whole day of Salmonberry Trail, and we're really excited to get the communities involved on this side of the mountains. They've been doing some good work over outside of Banks. They've got a lot of people who are excited about this. And I would really like to see Tillamook County get some energy as well. There are grant opportunities coming up, places where we can begin to build trail in Tillamook County, but we need to get ourselves fired up and excited and going on the process. So I invite everyone to join me there. With that, I am going to stop and move on to the City of Manzanita. Mayor Deb Simmons.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner Scar. Thank
Good
you.
morning.
In Manzanita, there are 3 surveys online on which citizens can provide input. These surveys deal with the dark sky ordinance, wayfinding, and a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit in the city. These will be posted later this week on the website. Also, the marketing grant page and application are live on the grants website, tillamookcoast.com/grants. There is a portal for applicants to submit, and we'll have a link on our website later this week. So folks will need to click on the Manzanita tab. The grant opens October 1st, and the deadline to apply is November 15th. Excuse me. City Council applications will be posted on the city website this week. We have 1 position open, and this will be a commitment of a little over 3 years. The next Mayor's Monday will be on October 2nd at 10:30 at the library. These are casual chats with no set agenda. They offer a great place to connect with neighbors and talk about what's going on in our city. And last, I just want to give a moment to Gerald Weniger, who passed away on Sunday. Gerald has been an advocate for truth and research in our community, and I don't think he ever missed a radio call out. His family reminds folks to pay close attention to medical symptoms and to not wait until it's too late. Thank you once again, Commissioner, for making this broadcast possible, and I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, moving on to Rockaway Beach, Mayor McNeely.
Good morning, everybody, and yes, thank you, Commissioner Scar, for your willingness to come and meet with me. I very much look forward to our meeting. Just a handful of things for Rockaway Beach this morning. We have our Coffee with Manager and Mayor, a monthly meeting at 9 a.m. It's a drop-in session, and we simply are there to listen to the concerns and questions, answer questions for our residents. And so that will be Thursday at 9 a.m. at City Hall. We're full speed ahead on the Salmonberry Trail project for our segment. We're setting the stage for final design and construction at the end of 2024. City staff and ODOT are working with Alta Planning and Design on a scope of work, technical environmental planning, as well as initial design and cost estimate planning. Our Planning Commission selected play structures for our Anchor Street project, and note the biggest concern was making sure we picked the color scheme that minimized the risk of hot surfaces during the summer. And then we have issued a notice of intent for a $1.3 million Anchor Street project to Knife River. We will have 43 parking stalls, an event area, restrooms, and 2 play structures and a picnic area when it's all completed. It's a pretty big deal for our community, and we'll also go ahead as part of that project and upgrade our wayside restrooms with new modern restrooms. If you've been there, they're pretty sad and embarrassing for our city, so I'm looking forward to having new restrooms at the wayside. The council did approve 3 awards for the 2023 Community Grant Program, Senior Meals, Friends of the Library, and Rockaway Beach Volunteers. And then I'll just mention we have Workshop 1 of our Community and Destination Management Planning workshops. Workshop 1 is Monday at 6 p.m. At the City Hall. I look forward to a big turnout. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to the City of Garibaldi. I did not see the regular phone number, but I'm going to give a moment just in case. Okay, not hearing anyone, we'll move on to Bay City. Interim Mayor Kathleen Baker.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just have one item to mention this morning. The city and I would like to thank the North Coast Fire and Rescue Steering Committee. and all that has put in work to and participated to come up with a joint workshop that both City of Bay City and Garibaldi participated in last night for discussing forming a fire district. And so a lot of work's been put into it. We'd like to thank everybody, and the information we gathered last night will be taken back to the cities and for council to discuss. And so moving forward with all kinds of other things in the city, but that's all I have for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to the City of Tillamook. City Manager Nathan George. I think I see the phone number. Okay, it looks like they're leaving, and maybe he's having some technical issues because he just left and he's probably coming back. Okay. And I don't see Doug Olson from South County with us today. We'll hang on just for a second. I want to see if Nathan comes back, if he was having technical difficulties.
So, Madam Chair, I do see Doug Olson online.
You do? Wonderful. Well, he's not showing up on my list, but let's go ahead and move on to Doug Olson then. Doug, good morning.
Huh. I wonder if that's a problem on our side.
That I don't know, because I will tell you I don't see Doug, and I have not seen Nathan rejoin us, and I'm not getting, let me make sure I don't have a silenced phone message that's coming from either of them. I do not. Well, oh, there you are. Thank you. Good morning, Nathan.
Fine, thanks. I'm sorry. When you put me on the air, I picked up the phone and it lost everything. I don't know what happened.
Oh, no. Technology. All right. Well, we've got you. We've got you, and we can hear you. Go right ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, wanted to start off in our police department, Lieutenant Troxel. Can you hear me okay? I'm afraid to pick up my phone again.
Okay. We can hear you. It's a little echoey, but we can hear you. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Lieutenant Troxel attended the Mornings on Main, hosted by the Tillamook Chamber. This monthly coffee and conversations are greatly attended and appreciated and worthwhile. Also, the Tillamook Police Department, in partnership with Starbucks, hosted a coffee with a cop. There was a great turnout, and next one's scheduled for Wednesday, November 15th at 7 to 10 a.m. This is just one great way to connect with and interact with your team at the police department. We also participate in community conversations, national night out, and other community events. Lieutenant Troxel represented the city of Tillamook as our homeless liaison at the Arlington Club in downtown Portland for lunch with Multnomah County Commissioner Chair Jessica Vega Peterson. The conversation centered around homelessness response was productive and informative. School Resource Officer Trent Olson, Lieutenant Troxel attended the school district parent and community workshop about addiction and drug use prevention and education with the, pronounce this right, Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Lieutenant Troxel attended the Tillamook 911 User Advisory Committee meeting. There was an update on public safety radios and discussion about the needs for the radio system. And Sergeant Harrell and our Executive Assistant Larson received notice of a computer systems audit. Both are working very close to each other to ensure that we meet all standards and expectations. In our Public Works Department, the Public Works Division, Streets Division, excuse me, we have 4 divisions. We have sewer, water treatment, water distribution, and streets. In the Streets Division, we'll be prepping 5th Street, most of Stillwell Avenue for paving. Paving on 5th Street to Douglas Avenue will begin in October, so we're very excited about that. If you haven't seen already, they've been installing the ADA ramps. Employees will be sweeping the streets in our new street sweeper. Please be mindful of staff and equipment. The pay box at Carnahan Park will be repaired, and we'll start putting the pay envelopes back up. Goodspeed Park got a fresh load of wood chips on Thursday. We want to thank the Oregon Youth Corp and our Public Works technicians for their generous assistance in spreading the chips throughout the playground. And for any Public Works inquiries, please always contact our Public Works at tillamookor.gov or you can call or text our main number. But you can't text our main number. You can call our main number. We can get you a number you can text. Did you know that in the early years, it's kind of a fun fact, the town of Tillamook, the first community settlement in the county, bore the unofficial names Lincoln and Hopeport, with the latter believed to be an Indian name meaning the landing. Its name was eventually changed to Tillamook, an Indian word meaning the many nations of Nehalem. And William Clark, the explorer Lewis and Clark, wrote in 1806 to the Killamex Indians. But according to research by the Clatsop and Nehalem Confederated Tribes, the K would not use the name of the tribe. Local folklore used the land of many waters to mean Tillamook. Though the fact that Tillamook is land of many waters is not the true meaning of the name Tillamook. And then I also wanted to share that a press release for the temporary appointment of our city council position in Ward 2 has been posted to the city's website, posted on the city's social media, and sent to the media. The elected councilor in this ward must be away for a long period of time and has asked that the city exercise its authority per the city charter to appoint a temporary representative. This person will stay in place until the elected official, Councilor Hopkins, is able to return. So anyone that lives in Ward 2 and would like to serve should submit a letter of intent to the City Council. The deadline for that letter is Monday, October 2nd at 5:30 p.m. And anyone submitting the letter should be prepared to attend the City Council meeting that night on Monday the 2nd at 7 p.m. So anybody who submits a letter should come to the council meeting, and then the council will make a decision or decide if they wanted to wait longer. But they at some point would make a decision probably that night who would serve temporarily on our council. And once again, you must reside in Ward 2 to be in that position. Megan Carpenter, who was formerly our planning technician, has interviewed and been selected as the new City of Tillamook planner. We're very excited to have her in this role and confident she will continue to do an amazing job. Accordingly, her former position as planning tech is now open, has been advertised, and anyone's interested should contact the Human Resources Department. Stop by City Hall with any questions. We also have several other positions available in our Public Works Department. Please stop by City Hall or visit our website for an application. Reminder, if you see something, say something by calling 911 for emergencies or dispatch for non-emergencies. And the next council meeting will be held next Monday, the 2nd at 7 p.m. We encourage anyone who would like to please attend. That's all I have, Commissioner. Thank you for your patience with my technology here.
Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, technology is always a little tricky. All right, one last shout out to Doug Olson in case he is with us. Okay, I'm thinking that he's not, so Commissioner Yamamoto needs to clear the cache on his computer, perhaps to get the right people up there, I'm not sure. Okay, with that then, we're going to thank KTIL for broadcasting, everyone for attending, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:57 a.m. Everyone have a great day.